Hi there, it's Kevin Benedict, independent mobility analyst, reporting live from Las Vegas here at the Enterprise Mobility Exchange 2011. And I have the privilege of being here with Jeff Hunt with GE Healthcare. Thanks for joining us today, Jeff.
Glad to be here, Kevin.
Now, you're in support operations.
Correct.
And you had a great presentation that we just went through here. And you shared two things in particular that I wanted to follow up and ask you about.
Sure.
You brought up the fact that you have done some experimenting with using YouTube for training purposes. So if somebody doesn't know how to do something in a particular way, you can have links to a YouTube video that shows them how to do that. Why don't you share with the viewers what you were doing?
So I refer to it as YouTube contextually.
Okay.
They're actually videos created by our own service engineers.
Okay.
We don't actually post them on YouTube, but, but the same thought holds true.
Okay.
And what we want to understand is, can we accelerate down the learning curve by using this video-based content as opposed to our traditional printed, engineering documents? So from a compliance perspective, we still have to have the printed documents. This is how you test it, etc. But in terms of actually how you get the work done and what maybe some of the tricks are to effectively performing the service event, we actually took two control groups and proved that we could reduce service time by 50% by using this type of training activity.
Wow. Now, how do they find those links and go through those training? Is that something you send out in advance, or is it something you have in an enterprise content management system? How do they find those links?
Right. So currently we have a web page that is a portal for our field engineers. So we have a lot of documentation there, not engineering technical documentation, but these types of helpful hints and tricks. And so we've created a tab on that web page for these videos, and we believe that as that content grows, we'll have to grow with it and figure out a good way to tag and manage this data. But for now, that's where they're located.
Because I know that handheld computers, even, for example, you can dispatch a particular job for a piece of equipment, and if you wanted to, you could send out any associated links with that task or that piece of equipment.
Correct.
And I could see, so then it's at the touch of their fingers. If they needed to access it, they could just click on the link and view it on remotely.
Right. So in our world, we've got to worry about compliance. We have to ensure that our technicians have been properly trained, so we make sure they've been through the proper training. But then as service bulletins come out, or as or perhaps you just haven't done that job in a while, you need a quick refresher. If you can go there, reference it, and then get down that learning curve before you do the job. That's what we're trying to do, is enable that type of learning, experiential learning.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And the ability to access that from anywhere, to me, is so powerful. They don't have to be in a training room in Boston or in New York or somewhere else. They can be anywhere. They can be under a piece of equipment in a hospital. They need to remember how to do something. They can access it.
So this is the magic of mobility, right? We're trying to take our corporate resources and have those be available anywhere, anytime to our employees around the globe.
Yeah, and you also brought up that almost none of your field service techs are reporting into an office.
Correct.
So they start from the house, they go out there, and that's why they need access to all that wherever they're at.
They're truly a remote workforce. They are supported by our very formalized training and product engineering teams, but in their day-to-day work, they are very, very remote in the truest sense of the word.
Now, the second thing I wanted to bring up is you talked about the concept of tribal knowledge, and the fact that because everybody's remote and they're not together, they're not able to be in the locker room or the lunchroom sharing thoughts and experiences and how-tos, that you are working on a way of kind of capturing some of that tribal knowledge, I think is what you said?
Absolutely. Social networking, we believe that there is a space for that in our business. Less about the social part of it and more about the networking, making sure that as one of our engineers learns or creates a new knowledge object, that gets shared, that we have a formal way of sharing that, a formal way of tagging it so that it can be searched and located by that person's peers.
Well, that's very powerful, and in those areas, I think you guys are probably leading the way in pushing that kind of thinking out. So congratulations on that.
Well, thanks. Appreciate your time, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff.